Hello guys, welcome to another one of my SkyForge videos. The video that I'm sharing with you guys here today is one of the steps towards becoming a greater god in SkyForge, at least based on every piece of information I have been able to dig out. We're on the Mechanoid Flagship. Crazy cool, amazing place where I was invited to join in on a bit of a carry. It was like 2 a.m. I was actually headed to bed, and completely random group just asked if I wanted to be joining in on the fun, and of course I did, because the Mechanoid Flagship is a place that this is my first time there that I'm sharing with you guys here. Crazy thing. I mean, the design is amazing, the encounters appear to be amazing, but since I was on a carry, it was like a little hard to really know how the battles were as such. What's the deal with the Mechanoid Flagship? Well, first of all, it's a place where you have a mission. You get it by Flavius. You need to go up to the Mechanoid Flagship and perform some scans, and this is part of the process leading towards becoming an Elder God. Besides that, you have some sabotage missions that you can do here. It can be part of the weekly quest line where you get additional bonuses for playing, and I think for most players, most importantly, is like an upgraded version of the Hespelon Temple, meaning that this is where you can get your artifacts and your weapons for your characters, and an epic quality. So a place where a lot of players want to be going, definitely a place that I'm going to be visiting a huge amount of additional times, because, well, I do have quite a few different classes and I want a weapon upgrade for each and every one of them. Since this was a major carry by a high prestige player, I didn't really have to do much besides tag along and try to do my best to help out damage wise, and it was an amazing way for me to hit the flagship the first time. And that is why I'm sharing this video in a bit of a weird way with some high speed stuff going in between, because this was my first trip here. No idea what was going on, no idea how the boss fights were, no idea what had to be done whatsoever, so just pretty hyped about being here. And when I arrived and I saw like the game design, how this dungeon is designed, how freaking awesome it looks, I kind of had to share it all. And hopefully also, if you're sitting out there, you're about to hit the flagship for the first time, perhaps the entire process is going to be able to help you figure out the ins and outs of the instance. You have a timed timed quest for the sabotage. You have 45 minutes to do enough sabotage on the ship to complete a mission. For me, that was, of course, cool to get done, but the really important thing for me was to get my scannings done for Flavius so that I could progress in terms of moving forward with my becoming an Elder God kind of quest line, because there is so little information out there about how to become an Elder God in SkyForge. Becoming a Junior God was pretty simple. It was a solo thing. It was just an extension of the campaign, kind of when you played through the entire game, the solo maps, and everybody does that. You learned how to become a Junior God. And then there has been some pitchy stuff. The Elder Gods have been talking a little bit about you need to take down 6 avatars in order to become an Elder God. And then they've been talking about it again and again, and you kind of get these nudges of information every now and then, but there is no real solid information about how do you actually do this. Because it's Mechanoid invasion now, we have these crazy Mechanoid places that we can go, and about a week ago it was Junior Avatar Week, meaning that the entire looking for group area in the capital was like plus Integrator plus Flava, and Flava apparently is what the 5-player Junior Avatar instance is referred to among more experienced players, where the AVA or AVA is the normal Avatar and Flava is, I don't know, the 5-man one. You can hit that up to 3 times and get an actual avatar trophy that you can use to unlock additional divine trees, specialization trees, and these are the ones you need 6 of. And you can actually acquire 3 of them just by taking out these junior 5-player avatar things. So I think most players kind of got the ganking done, joined in like the high prestige players have been so friendly in order to help every newbie player like myself out acquiring these junior avatar trophies to unlock additional divine specialization options. So I'm actually halfway there, even though in terms of the process I'm definitely not, because being able to unlock 3 additional divine trees is not the same as having the ones from the end game raids that are probably going to be really hard to get. But hopefully as I move forward in the game, I'm crushing it, crazy, playing way too many hours of SkyForge. I'm going to be sharing all the bits and bytes and nuggets that lead up to becoming an Elder God with you guys, so that hopefully if you're sitting out there and you want to be like checking out what does it take to become an Elder God in SkyForge, what do I need to do, hopefully I will have shared the things that led up to that for me very soon. I know I need to like multiply my amount of prestige by 10 or something in order to get to the part where people say they are Elder Gods, but I don't know yet. In hopefully 2 weeks or something like that, I'm gonna be there. But based on my capital progression, it appears to be 50 days before I have capped my Tower of Knowledge at least, but I don't really know how this new progression system is going to be fluctuating as I move forward. I started out getting additional, like loads of levels on my Bastions and Tower of Knowledge, and I'm getting 1. So my progression based on the new system is nothing compared to what it was like a week ago, but that is besides the point. In terms of battles here in the Mechanoid Flagship, it appears to be a really good mixture of tank and spank counter missions.
The reactor is unstable. Explosion in 10, 9, 8. I'm joking. You have a few minutes. Try to stabilize the reactor by connecting to the second terminal.
The Auger system, absolutely love it. Like crazy love it. But besides, look at that. I mean, look at how this... Wow, this is in-game, man. We have this crazy core twirling around. Regardless, what I was about to say, battles in the flagship based on, this was a carry, so I can only really share information based on that. Appears to be, if you know how your mechanoids work, then you're pretty well set up in terms of understanding what you need to do in here. You have the miners. If you're standing in the red area, you're gonna blow up, so move away. Menders. They're gonna be healing others by putting a weird totem staff kind of thing in the ground. Remove it, gank the Menders. Don't get caught by the hunters, you know, the Rotharius cubes, we have them. If you know how all these different mechanoids work, and you should, I don't think that you have a chance of not knowing that when you reach this part of the game. So, understanding like the base mechanoid mechanics, of course, super important. Besides that, what it appeared to be from this carry point of view here was it's super easy battles. It always appears to be that when you're with the super high level, but there were no weird things going on. Like if you're playing Ophelia, you have these really wow kind of battles. If you're up against the Lightning Golem in like you need to hug it, you need to know these different things in the different raids, but in here it appeared to be pretty tank and spank kind of thing for the most part. And then we had one of my favorite encounter options in the game as well, actually, which is the an enemy is approaching from the north, an enemy is approaching from the south, from the east. You guys know that probably from Aristole's Farm. I do believe that is the first time we have this encounter where we have enemies approaching from different directions and you need to engage them or they're gonna come gank you. We have them in the crashed side, the crashed aircraft, and we have them here as well, and it is one of the later encounters in the instance here, at least based on the path that we have been taking. We're going to be seeing it right around here where we have this computer thing in the middle, and once you push it down, you get the flank attacks, meaning that opponents are going to be spawning on the different flanks, and you need to take them out. I didn't know that first time there, no idea what was going to be going on in the dungeon, and as you can see, the distance between these flanks is pretty extensive compared to being in divine form. Obviously, if you're in god form, it's a bit easier to scoop from one side to the other. I was not really understanding exactly what was going on here, but moving forward, I now know that this is a flank attack area. It is one of the places where you need to have an attack here, have an attack there, move back and forth, and it's actually my favorite encounter type, and I'm gonna be able to play better the next time around. There is no question about that. But I don't really think I can play much worse than what I did here the first time. Being in on a carry, everything is new. Looking at the computers. All right, we need to. Somebody's doing some sabotage here. I need to scan these things for Flavius, and I hadn't checked out anything about the dungeon. I was just like, I kind of read somewhere I had to go here to do my Elder God. So, oh yeah, I'm in. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys. So no expert advice on how to play this, no strategies, no nothing. Just really the super newbie player that is loving the game, sharing the adventure in the Mechanoid Flagship for the first time with you guys. We're closing in on being done with the actual Mechanoid Flagship thing here. What I'm going to be sharing with you guys after that is, of course, the loot, because loot is important. Yes, it is. Getting some really nice stuff here for my generation of equipment, and that is coming down there. I'm just going to be hovering the different artifact pieces that I was lucky enough to acquire in this dungeon run. I did not get any weapon pieces, which is super okay because I got to do my scans, and that was the most important. So once I have been scooping by my loot, my character loot, I am going to be heading over to Flavius, because you need to talk with him after having scanned the things here in the Mechanoid Flagship. You cannot just transfer the data to him via the alienet. It's way too risky, so you kind of need to go over there on your own and hand him the data, which just means go talk to him. And I included the entire dialogue with him because personally I'm a huge fan of many of the different dialogues here in SkyForge. Look how amazing this place is. Wow, I'm like blown away by this place. Look at there, we have a crazy core center area. This here is the last part of the Mechanoid Flagship battle. We kind of need to do the last sabotage here. Rotharius cubes, like the special monster kind of things here, but no crazy bosses based on what I was able to figure out. So this is not, I may be mistaken since I was on a carry here. I'm gonna be stressing that again. I'm on a carry, but it does not appear that this is like a super hard part of the instance compared to some of the other encounters we have had, but perhaps I am mistaken. And if you guys know a lot more, if you have cool details about, if you're not with a super crazy high prestige carry and you want to be playing this, these are the strategies, or this is the link to a video with the strategy, or a wiki with the strategy. If you have good stuff, be like super free to put it down there so that we can all learn and play and enjoy SkyForge even more, because that is, after all, that's what it's all about. Now we can access the computers, which is good, and then we can do the final sabotage. And I'm just looking a little bit around because this place is amazing. I mean, I was blown away by the place here. Luckily I cut it out actually from the video recording, because after, when we were done playing here, I decided to stay in here and just snoop around, because I really think this place looks, I'm blown away really by SkyForge. I mean, not just by this place here, or by Thanatos' spaceship, or by the open world. In pretty much every way I am blown away. And today I discovered the I'm stuck feature, and being bugged into a mountainside is pretty much like the only really bad thing I've ever had to say about SkyForge, and now I found a way to get teleported away from that. So all is good and amazing in terms of SkyForge. This was the saboteur operation, the flagship of the Mechanoids, completed. What I'm going to be sharing with you guys now is just the loot, and then the entire dialogue with Flavius, and then I'm going to be sharing in additional videos more steps towards becoming a greater god in SkyForge. So in terms of what I wanted to say, that was pretty much it from here. As always guys, thank you very much for watching.
then. I have the data. Thanks for helping science. You know, I underestimated you before. Science is not your forte, but you know the ropes, and have already surpassed me. If we talk actual development time, that is. But don't get smug. Modesty is more becoming. Take me, for example. Yeah? I haven't noticed. Oh, right. The data comparison is complete. Let me think. There aren't many differences, but they do exist. Which means my theory that units from different invasions are identical is incorrect. Too bad, because it was interesting. They do change. Note to self, need to figure out why. That's relative. I feel the need to point that out. What do you know about time? I'm absolutely certain that our concept of time is different from that of the aliens. Interesting, isn't it? You should visit them someday, to test out the theory, so to say. Serious? A simple flight will take millions of years. The invasion ships fly through special portals that are found in space. No idea who opens these portals, presumably the great gods. And in order to travel through them, you need to have powers of a great god or an avatar. Otherwise, the ship would simply break apart. Well, these are merely theories, of course, but there are facts from Eli's times that can partially confirm them. An interesting thought, but we already tried that. It didn't work. I was unable to find a way to control the Avatar's mind. But just because I haven't found the solution doesn't mean there isn't a way. Well done. You catch on fast. Considering the new data, Thanatos managed to control Laertes. Perhaps that's the direction I should be looking in. Just take a different approach. All right, go now. I'll start thinking about it right away.